Liz says she wants
Uh-oh.
to.
I did it. Well, we are live.
All right,
No extra.
no more expletives.
No extra.
No,
Oh.
no extra, we are live.
It's not
I
us in the
just
future.
didn't, the only thing I didn't do, I didn't label the video, it says Village Board meeting on the label. It's okay.
We all got promoted.
You're right.
I don't think I can,
Let's not
It's okay.
jeopardize the meeting. We can
no, it's okay.
worry about adjusting that later.
But, can everybody silence their phones just in case, because we are live now, just in case. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but
Oh no, I have the most obnoxious
What's the ringtone? Now I gotta know.
yeah, what is it?
Come on, you gotta share.
I'll share.
Yeah.
It's not like it's embarrassing, it's just obnoxious. If I can figure out how to share.
Do it all. Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
It could be a cat. It could be a cat ring or something like that.
You asked!
Well, that's British.
I know.
It works.
I told you it was obnoxious, but it's quite effective. I can hear it. We received. I can hear it when I need to hear it. It's very effective.
It is. So Bill, good, I'm glad you got your paper copies. Hi. Hello. How are you? Hey, would you mind just signing your name in the book so that I can?
We good, Crystal? Good.
Yes.
Alright. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Planning Board of the Village of Warwick, January 13th, 2026. First thing we'll do is stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Jesse Gallo,
Here.
Brian Barber,
Here.
Carrie Boland.
Here.
Scott Brown.
Here.
Bill Olson.
Here.
Vanessa Holland is absent. Keith Woodruff
Here.
and Elizabeth Cassidy.
Alright, can I have a motion to approve the December 9th, 2025 minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. On to applications. First application is 25 Park Avenue, site plan application, also a public hearing. You can join us in there. Alright, so before we open the public hearing, there wasn't any business from last meeting that.
Nothing was resubmitted
address.
since the last meeting.
Okay. And there wasn't any revisions, I guess, to the site plan that were.
I didn't have any actually outstanding comments.
Okay, excellent. All right, so can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Move to open the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll read the notice. Please take notice that the Village Planning Board of the Village of Warwick will hold a public hearing at the Village of Warwick Village Hall, 77 Main Street, Warwick, New York, 10990, on January 13th, 2026 at 7:30 PM or as soon thereafter as possible on the application Tim and Amy Smith for site plan approval to permit construction of a single-story addition at 25 Park Avenue, Warwick, section block lot 214-5-3. Copy of the application is available for review in the Building Planning Department located at 77 Main Street, Warwick, New York, 10990 during regular business hours. By order of the Planning Board of the Village of Warwick, Jesse Gallo, Chairman, dated December 12th, 2025. So do you want to just give like a brief overview for anyone in the audience of the
Well, sure.
proposal?
It's 25 Park Ave is, what we're looking to do is add a 12-foot addition on the, if you're looking at the home from the street, it would be on the left side, single-story addition, with a crawl space.
If you need the map, it's behind you on the screen.
So Park Ave, and then the addition would be over on this side. Again, it's a single-story addition. Our goal is to make it architecturally in coordination with the rest of the neighborhood. And for us, it provides, adequate living space, the ability to add a laundry room towards the back of that addition, which right now is in the basement down some steep and narrow stairs, so it's one of the other goals of the addition. So that's the general scope of the work.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone in the? Oh, go ahead.
Well, maybe you want to tell the board that you acquired the variances or not?
Yeah, we did. We had been referred to the
Zoning board.
to the variance board of appeals, and we received that approval. I think it was incorporated into the plans which were submitted
Right.
at the last meeting.
And that had a required public hearing as well.
Yes,
Yeah, it did.
public hearing for that.
Excellent. Is there anyone in the public that would wish to speak? Okay. There's no one.
If there's no additional comment, I'd like to close the public hearing. Move to close the public hearing.
Should we acknowledge that we received a letter?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I want to do
So
first.
we received a letter
Oh,
that
okay.
is posted on the website, as everybody saw from Mr. Klein. I don't know if does Jesse have to read it, or it's just
Nope,
posted on the website?
just acknowledge receipt of the letter.
Okay.
And it's the rare instance where I don't think the applicant needs to actually address the letter, because it's very supportive of the project, so there's nothing to rebut in the letter.
Second Bill's motion.
All right, all in favor?
That's to close.
Yes.
To close. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, public hearing is now closed. Any additional comments from the board? Questions, concerns?
No, that's all the questions we've had.
Okay.
No questions at this time.
So I think we're probably ready to.
I did draft this morning I drafted a resolution for discussion by the board, so I just wanna go through that, resolution. I'll summarize as we go through. The nature of the application, Tim and Amy Smith have applied for a project referred to as 25 Park Avenue site, that site plan, which seeks site plan approval pursuant to 145-90A1 to authorize the construction of a single-story addition to an existing single-family dwelling. The proposed addition is 12 feet by 30 feet. The parcel is located on one tax lot identified on the tax maps of the Village of Warwick as Section 214, Block 5, Lot 3. Zoning district, the property affected by this resolution is located in the residential R zoning district of the Village of Warwick. The proposed use is, because it's a single use, is permitted within the R, district and falls under use group B. Plans, the site plan materials considered consist of the following. Application received May 20th, 2025, and attachments thereto, including photo rendering of the addition. Short form environmental assessment form dated May 20th, 2025. Survey prepared by John McGloin, PLS, dated June 14th, 1990, last updated May 5th, 2025. Site plan prepared by John McLean PLS dated August 12th, 2025, last revised November 18th, 2025. Decision in order of the Zoning Board of Appeals dated November 18th, 2025. History. The present application was initially filed on May 20th, 2025, and first heard by the Planning Board on July 8th, 2025. The application was referred to the Village of Warwick Zoning Board of Appeals, which after a public hearing rendered a decision in order dated November 18th, 2025, granting area variances, and I neglected to add the specific variances that were granted. 239 referral. The application is not subject to referral to the Orange County Department of Planning pursuant to GML 239. Seeker. The proposed action is a type 2 action per 6 NYCRR 617.5C11, construction or expansion of a single family residence on an approved lot, and no further environmental review is required. Public hearing. A public hearing on this application was convened and closed on January 13th, 2026. There was no public comment. The planning board did receive correspondence dated January 6th, 2026 from Paul and Patricia Fine in support of the project. Findings. The planning, and these are suggestions by my office, and there you can add and subtract as you like. Findings. The planning board has determined that after considering the public health, safety, and welfare of the public in general, the surrounding neighborhood, and of the property owners, that the project satisfies the objectives and design standards as set forth in section 14591. That's the section that outlines all the site plan standards, environmental review, design objectives, things like that. Specifically, the board finds that the proposed addition is consistent with the style and scale of the surrounding neighborhood. The project will not alter existing access and traffic patterns. Resolution of approval. Now therefore, the planning board resolves to grant approval to the site plan application of Tim and Amy Smith as depicted on the plans identified above, upon conditions outlined below, and the chairperson or his designee is authorized to sign the plans upon satisfaction of those conditions below, noted to be conditions precedent to such signing. General conditions. This application is conditioned upon the applicant submitting all necessary copies of the plans to be signed as required by the Village of Warwick Planning Department. This approval is further conditioned upon the applicant paying or depositing into escrow all applicable review, inspection, or other applicable fees. Further conditioned on the applicant delivering prior to signing of the plans proof in writing that all fees, engineering, legal, or otherwise in regard to the project have been fully paid. The plan shall not be signed until proof satisfactory to the chair has been presented showing that all conditions of this approval have been fulfilled or otherwise satisfied. The conditions of this conditional approval shall be fulfilled within 12 months from the date set forth at the foot of this resolution unless the applicant within said 12 month period and prior to the expiration of said time file with the planning board a request for an extension of this conditional approval and prove to the satisfaction of the planning board that such extensions is justified based upon such matters as are outside the control of the applicant. Upon the expiration of said 12-month period without an extension having been granted, this conditional approval shall lapse. This approval is subject to section 14598 of the Village of Warwick Code. Those are the general provisions regarding expiration of the plan. All the conditions shall be satisfied prior to the issuance of the building permit. No approval is intended to be given or is given by this resolution for site plan elements depicted on adjoining parcels. Keith, do you need as-built or no?
I don't think so for this application.
I had it, but I left it just in case you wanted it. Construction hours of the project site shall be limited to the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturdays. There shall be no construction on Sundays. The plans to be amended to satisfy the review comments provided by the village engineer and the village attorney. I had one small, they labeled a setback, Keith has it, one teeny tiny change, which I had told you at the time, don't make until you get, let's finalize the process.
Yeah.
And have,
It's the changing of this note.
it's just labeled wrong.
Oh,
So,
I
most of
see.
the
It's
description.
not a
okay.
substantive, it's just labeled the wrong thing.
Okay.
Before he clicks print one more time, he just has to make that change.
You can keep that, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
So I just need that change made. Are there any other conditions the board wishes me to add?
I may have one question.
Sure,
It's not in the historic district,
correct.
but on the map it's in the recommended historic overlay. Now, there's no
The-
restrictions or requirements associated with that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I just want to make sure.
There are. I did go through this morning while I was just kind of going through my mental checklist. Because they're not in the district, they're not subject to, Architectural and Historic District Review Board.
Works for me.
You have to note the receipt of the certified letters for the notification for the hearing.
That can be added to the
Yes,
minutes.
I received them. So now it's just confirmed for the record. Thank you, Brian. It's just a formality.
And there are no other conditions, right, Keith?
Unless Liz wants to, since John's gonna have to make a change to the plan, if you wanted to mention the garage to the existing structure, because that was your last comment in your response or comment letter.
I don't necessarily need it because the building inspector opined that it was a
Pre-existing.
pre-existing, so that dimension, in my mind, is irrelevant based on that determination. So-
Okay, yep, that's fine.
But if John wants to add more information, have at it, but for our purposes, that we don't need that dimension.
I'll move the approval resolution.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank
So
you.
what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go clean up all my typos, and finalize this and insert the voting information. I will do that tomorrow. I will send it to Kristen. Kristen will give that to you. You're gonna give this to John. I would have John, we kinda offer this, John can send the plans before he clicks print and seals and stamps all of them to me and Keith, just to say, yep, you got it. I think that's the only change Keith requires, or I require. Once you have that, you'll submit. Just make sure your fees are up to date. Once that plan is provided to Kristen, she'll coordinate with Chairman Gallo to sign, and then you can go to the building department for your permit,
Okay,
okay? So you just have to start construction within 12 months.
okay. So we're incorporating the resolution into the plans? No?
You don't have to do that, the ZBA decision, yes, but, if John has any questions, he can certainly
Okay.
reach out to me.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thanks.
Have a great night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, Nick.
Next on the agenda is 40 High Street. I guess it says mixed-use building. Site plan application.
For a week and then.
Oh, yeah. Just don't put anything on top of the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
because It makes noise and then people on.
Muffled.
Yeah,
Muffled,
it's
okay.
muffled. You two.
All right, so last time, I think, well, you've revised the plans, obviously,
Yes.
from, I think, the discussion last meeting that we had on this application.
Yes.
You want to just go through the changes?
So, last time we were showing two buildings. We were trying to get residential on the first floor.
Mhm.
We went to one building, a total of 10 units, and we removed the residential from the first floor. So now it is under the residence on second and third on top of business.
And you're using the pre-existing building, right? And then adding.
Footprint's the same?
No, the footprint is not the same. The footprint is the same.
It doesn't, the existing doesn't matter anymore because, actually, this project brought it to light. Your code, your bulk table was actually wrong,
Mhm.
which we identified when we were going through. And I think it was you, Chairman, you said, well, how'd they do 13 Forester? So the bulk table didn't reflect the local laws adopted by the village board, so we've updated the bulk table. In the light industrial, zone, it is, apartments on the second and third floor above commercial, whether it's new or existing. So that has been corrected, it is a conditional use permit.
All right, so I guess the proposal now adheres to the zoning as far as commercial first floor, residential
Yes.
second, third floor. You've removed the second building
Yes.
entirely, because I think that was maybe encroaching in that 100-year floodplain or floodway,
Yeah, it would have.
or at least a retaining wall or something
Yes.
would have been. All right, so Liz, did you want to go through some of your comments on the revised plan?
Sure. I saw in two different places, so the applicant's gonna verify for me, or the engineer's gonna certify. Keith says it's within 500 feet. My little Google Earth said it was like 550 feet to Route 17A. So just confirm what it is, and then we can figure out.
Confirm the distance.
Yeah, are you 500 feet? It was.
I was gonna say, is it from the building and improvements, or is it from the parcel?
Parcel.
So
I
went
tried to
from-
measure. I defer to the engineers, but I kept getting more than 500 feet. So
'cause
I don't
went
want to
to-
send somebody that doesn't have to go.
Yeah, I did to the parcel limits, and it was.
Okay.
It
just
is.
Double check. Yeah, if Keith says it is. But
Greater or?
No, it's within 500 feet of 17A.
okay. So if it is, then it has to go. I don't have the fancy software you have, Keith. I have like Google Earth and a little ruler that I'm trying to guesstimate off. Application comments, number 8 to be corrected to reflect use group J. Number 10, conditional permit, use permit is yes, that's a repeat comment. Seeker, I raised a number of comments. The applicant indicates that they will make a SHPO referral in light of the yes answer to 12A and 12B, that's pending. There's still outstanding issues with respect to potential impacts of Indiana bat and bog turtle, that's number 15. 100-year floodplain, address runoff to Wayanda Creek, and then there is a yes answer to question 20, which is the hazardous question. That may have been triggered by the mapper. We've had a couple of projects where it's railroad, but we're in the light industrial. I need to make sure it's not your site. Oh, there's a typo. Ooh, that's a bad typo too. And then my comment was the applicant is modifying the project to eliminate the second building together with this disturbance within the 100-year floodplain. Applicant to provide updated EAF addressing Indiana bat and bog turtle runoff to Wayanda Creek and hazardous waste. Given the scale of the project, the board may wish to consider a long-form EAF. You addressed comment 6, which was the use. Revised parking calculations reflecting the revised site plan have been provided, engineer Woodruff to confirm adequacy. I highlighted in comment 8 a number of the requirements of the code that I thought were particularly pertinent, mostly related to parking and access, and I continue to leave those there just for the applicant's reference. The applicant has provided a revised plan showing 29 parking spaces. The applicant to conform the 6 spaces 16 through 30 do not encroach into the required side yard. I think they're in the setback, but not the side yard.
Yes.
And there's a distinction, so applicant to address landscaping and screening of the parking lot. I think we're still in a conceptual phase, so I think that will need to be done. Applicant to demonstrate compliance with landscaping standards, and that's 145.7A 8 and 145-91.E, and that's a repeat comment. I'm gonna defer to engineer Woodruff on the permit for purposes of flood impacts and the required deductions, if any. I think the plan should be more fully developed prior to submitting for 239 if required, or scheduling a public hearing. The applicant does need to identify a proposed commercial use, even if such use is conceptual, so that gives us something to base off of, to make sure there's compliance with the code and the site meets the appropriate use group bulk standards. Applicant to identify, and this is a copy of Keith's comment, applicant to identify proposed grading, water, sewer service and daily demand, drainage, landscaping, etc.
Just a question, and like, how many commercial units are proposed on the first floor?
3.
3.
3 years?
Basically follows the building, so 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Each one will have access to the sides? There'll be doors?
There is a door to the front, well, to this way, whichever direction that is, sorry, and this way. So they'll have 2 feet of egress.
So-
If they're under a certain area, they don't actually need 2
Two.
means of egress.
Right.
So they have the possibility of expanding 1 unit or 2 units into a single unit, and then some of those doors may be required, but some may not. So, but they might still be used for other reasons.
So I would just, essentially, because I appreciate you probably don't have tenants lined up yet, because you don't know what you're approved for yet, but if you can give a, you know, type of commercial space, you know, kind of pick, and so that way we can have a point, a threshold to evaluate against, and then if you have somebody with a lower threshold, great, if you have somebody with a higher threshold, you would come back for amended to have them come in, but, we need that starting point, to see where we're going next.
Sorry, does that change, what does that change?
It could change parking requirements, and then depending on some uses, they have specific, uses within the code.
Okay.
So, you know, broad, you know, business office or whatever that may be, I defer to you and your
Because
client.
what I was thinking is it would probably make sense to pick an average
Yeah,
use, but then I thought, well, maybe it's better to pick a use that would need a higher yield, so if we are under, unless, in other words, if it's a less restrictive use, it would be.
you
But I
also,
think, but then that's why I asked the question,
you
because I
also
believe
can,
average.
you can also, which is a little bit more work up front, but if you wanted to give both scenarios, right? You know, if it's a eating and drinking establishment, it's X, and we meet X. If it's a business establishment, it's Y, and we meet Y. And that way, it's an either or, and then you don't have to come back.
Yeah.
So just a thought for you moving, you know, the parking and the requirements for an eating and drinking establishment are
Different.
blah.
Yes.
We meet all those requirements because, and then as an alternate, because under seeker, you can evaluate it as alternates, and if you have that information before you, you can approve it in the alternate.
Could you remind us what the mix of the apartments are? in terms-
It's 10 units total.
10.
There are 2 one-bedroom.
So you have 8. You have 8 one-bedrooms, 2 bedrooms.
Yes, sorry.
So there's 8 one-bedrooms, 2 two-bedrooms.
bedrooms. And what's the threshold to have to offer an affordable apartment?
I don't think outside of, I think your affordability, I will double check that requirement. That's largely in your, PAC, as well as your annexation district, which this isn't part of.
And it's a 3-story building?
Yes.
Was originally,
So
when you had
the
the two-
previous had 2 buildings at 2 stories each.
because I can kind of see you have the image of it there, but that's the old image.
Yeah, that is the old image. Yes.
So it'll be a whole 3rd story on top of that.
Yes.
The building next door, is that also a 3-story building?
No, it's 2-story.
Is the site on any sort of elevation?
That site is flat.
Yeah,
It's pretty flat,
yeah,
right?
It'll be pretty much at the same elevation as the doctor's office is next door. Yeah.
As far as,
Yeah,
on High Street?
Ground level is almost the same. It'll be slightly elevated from that. But not-
Yeah, so it's down slightly.
Yeah,
the
very
street.
slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more of a dramatic topography, elevation change in the rear, obviously. That's where it is. Any other questions before we go to Keith?
I have a question for you, actually. Is this being considered a renovation, or is it going to be like a tear down and start over?
Well, originally we wanted to do it as a renovation. I think at this point it's pretty much going to be tear down and start over.
And is that a distinction that needs to be made up front, or doesn't
No.
matter? Okay.
Not in the light industrial, in your other zone, yes.
Okay.
It would impact, I guess, variances if they were.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
because it was not a pre-existing structure, but
Right.
I think they've provided a compliant building with regard to setback in yards.
Yeah.
So yes, if you tear it down, you gotta get new,
Right.
you gotta meet current setbacks.
That's right. Right here.
Yeah, because it looks like it doesn't, right?
Look, it's right through.
It
Yeah,
is.
so we'll have to look into that.
That's the setback.
Oh,
It gets
It's a
right through the
setback, right.
building. You gotta get a variance. Because correct me if I'm wrong, that's, this line goes right through the building, correct?
Right. Otherwise, they would have to shift it.
I just wanna make
I
sure
mean,
I'm
you
looking
could
at the
shift it,
drawing
you could
correctly.
elongate it. I mean,
You know, the last time I looked though, we were within. When we changed to the, because last time we were a different district, and when we changed to the correct district, the setbacks changed. So,
your setback, give me 1 second, Chris.
Are these the most recent drawings? Are you guys looking at the same drawings I am? Because
These
Yeah,
are,
these look the
yeah,
same.
these are,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So I think here, at least I was trying to keep it with the existing building, making it
yeah,
not more
right, yeah,
conforming.
it still meets where the existing building is, so.
well, that's the trigger.
It's
Right?
no
If it's a
worse.
renovation versus demolition rebuild, those are two different distinctions, I think. If you demolish it, you're starting from scratch, right?
Yeah, well, the goal was to keep the original foundation, but when the building changed size, there's,
So I think the safest approach is, and I would do this early so that we have a path, is to get a determination from the building inspector if you're preserving part of the foundation. Whether you get to keep that setback and just have an interpretation from the building inspector. I know Boris doesn't like when I say that, but that's the appropriate path.
But then
Whether-
you'd be putting an addition essentially, right? On also that is
Well, where's the original foundation?
It's this, yeah.
But then this piece here and that little
Just the,
rectangle would be an addition.
Can we just show me the building? Just a little.
yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, I mean, if it doesn't work, then you go to the zoning board and get a variance or at least propose one.
Confirm that this is the right setback.
Hold on.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your setback, that's the side setback, and
Side.
we're in use
Yeah.
group J.
Yeah.
Your setback's 10 feet.
Right,
Yeah, that's
exactly,
what it
so
says.
this is showing 20 feet, yeah.
Yeah, that looks huge.
Right. So then
So-
it's a moot point if it is.
So we just need to update this drawing to show the
Correct
revised
setbacks.
setbacks.
Same thing with the parking, right? So that was one of your comments was.
Yeah, that was yard, not setback.
Yeah,
Well, what's the? So then what's this one on the
Yard, I
side?
think was also 10.
Right.
Is
This
there-
looks like more.
Is
than
there a
10.
total setback, a total side yard setback of
It's-
60?
no, because you jumped the line.
jump the line.
When you, I'll show you, you jumped the line, because it's 10, it's J, and you went up, when you were reading it, you were going across, and you jumped up to I, and you made your life harder. I have that as,
Okay, so that's,
that makes
So
your
you
life a
have-
lot easier.
These are
10
two,
on
yeah.
both
so-
It's
sides.
both 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So then your parking, even as you show here, is fine.
Yeah.
So I think it's a cleanup issue.
Yep.
Yep.
See, I just took a variance away.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
I was pretty sure that I had gone through this pretty tight, just to make sure, because when it changed, suddenly it got a whole lot easier. And then I went. oh,
Yeah, the
wow.
LI is less restricted.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say, obviously,
Yeah,
revise
yeah.
the plans
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this will just come, all the way out to almost the year.
And then you can move this to make it.
Just making notes.
Keith, you wanna go over?
The bulk requirements table should be modified to list the residential use as the quote residential apartments above commercial space. The applicant to identify the potential commercial use of the project, which is what Liz alluded to, as the use group J permits professional offices, business offices, banks, but not eating and drinking establishments, retail space. But those are permitted, so I think having both the J and the K, as well as any proposed uses on the plans, so that the board can review that all inclusive. Location of the regulated floodway should be shown on the plans. They do show the floodplain, but the floodway as well should be shown.
Okay.
Liz touched on the SHPO requirements. The applicant has submitted for SHPO for investigation.
Yep.
We're waiting on the wetlands. I added that it is within, or less than 500 feet from 17A, so a GML 239 is required. Driveway access aisle should be a minimum of 20 feet in width to meet the New York State Fire Code for aerial access, since it is a 3-story building. Applicant to address access to the adjoining property driveway and parking on 30 High Street. So the little residential lot up in the corner, so they have an existing, or what they're currently accessing, a paved parking space. Right, up
Right
in
on
the
the
corner.
corner. It looks like they use your curb cut.
Yes, so
And-
right now, the property has, I believe, 2 curb cuts, one closest to the existing commercial building, and then one on the opposite side of the hydrant, and that's where the residents near, the adjacent residence is using it. So you might wanna reach out to them as to, obviously, you cut it off, I think it's a 2-family dwelling that they're currently leasing out, and that is probably one of the paved access parking areas that they've provided for their tenants. And then the design plans as submitted are missing important design information, so I think once a more detailed design plan is submitted to the board, then GML 239 review or referral should be sent off.
And you mentioned too the perpendicular, I guess, for the driveway. So that,
Yeah, so that's more of just a planning thing, just because High Street is a one-way traffic. Having that come in at more of a perpendicular 90-degree angle to High Street will make that access a little bit easier.
Okay.
especially
Because-
for a left turn.
Yeah, as I say,
Right
if
here,
you're going the
come this way,
opposite
this way.
way of, you have that real acute turn to make.
Come like
Yeah.
this.
Here's your curb cut. Here's that
Yeah.
concrete pad, that asphalt pad, just so you can see.
Oh, wow.
So, and it looks like it's being used.
You're looking at the street view.
Yeah.
If you go back through, like if you go the previous picture, date-wise, you can see the car parked there.
Yeah, but we wouldn't really be doing anything over here.
Well,
No,
you won't have
it just-
access. Well, they won't have access because they're using the
Blocking
curb
our
cut.
access if we do it as we're showing it now.
Or,
How's that? 'Cause
or
we're
you
completely
can
over
create
here.
a,
All their stuff
create
is here.
a, offer to create a new curb access. Because right now you have 2 curb cuts, you have ish and here.
Yeah.
If you close yours off and say, okay, well, we'll create a new curb cut here,
Or do we have to close this off for them? Can we leave it and just do it as, because we're way down here with our proposed one, right? And we would just,
No, because that would be access through, because
Joint
the
prop-
residential is not an approved use in the zone.
no, no.
Residential through a
I'm
commercial.
less concerned about that because it's a pre-existing condition. My point is, in an ideal world, you're not gonna have a curb cut to nowhere. You're gonna eliminate the curb cut to nowhere.
Right, because you're not
I think-
proposing to
I
have a
think-
driveway here. So.
My point is, if we're eliminating the curb cut to nowhere, you're already touching the sidewalks.
Right, I agree.
Do the neighborly thing and say, hey, we're taking away your access, but we're gonna give you a shiny new curb cut on your property. And then that eliminates any encroachment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
okay.
Because then there's, it could be an issue. Someone walks down the driveway and hurts themselves.
Right.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh,
Okay.
not-
Yeah, I
not-
just, taking my planning and putting my real estate attorney, you're eliminating encroachments and crosses and all sorts of things. So I would reach out to those neighbors early to have that discussion so that they don't come to a public hearing and go, what? What are you doing to my curb cut? But I think that will actually facilitate theirs. And just move the curb cut down the street.
Yeah.
But you don't want this big, cause that's a double lane
Yeah.
curb cut to nowhere.
And then slant it so you come out here, instead of making a real weird curve like that.
It would.
Yeah, like
More
that, right,
perpendicular.
right.
Yeah, Sweep
Right.
a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you got space. That was it, right, Keith?
Oh, and then just, your plans show that the sidewalk, I think it's just a carryover from the previous layout.
Yeah, we need to adjust that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Good. Got them all in. Any questions for us? Okay.
Yeah, we have the surveyor going out there to pick up the water lines, the sewer lines, so we'll do a more detailed sewer water connection with all the appropriate details, after we get all the invert elevations.
And this was submitted to the architectural review.
Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. B, I just think that, because you've said it so many times. Today, so it doesn't need to go because of the historic district, but it was recommended, so it was submitted today.
Okay. And that's the current layout.
That's the current layout, yeah.
Right.
I don't have because we're touching them all day long, I didn't even think to bring them with me tonight, but I was thinking of just getting that done.
I have it in my emails if you'd like to show the board.
Sure,
but That's
we
up
can
to
do
you.
that. If they wanna see it, that's fine.
A render or a
Yeah.
proposed
So
render.
I'll show you in a second.
Elevations.
Okay? I
Rendering.
just don't want you to see all my emails.
I can't.
You wrote that on email?
No. Yeah.
Everybody looked when I said that.
The doctor's office next door is fairly tall for a
Yes.
two-story.
It
It
is.
is, yeah, it's got a very steep roof.
I have a quick question. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions, but that house, that curb cutout, that house has a curb cutout on the other side of it with a driveway for the tenants as well. I don't know if,
Does it?
yeah. But I don't
It's
know
only
if
a
like,
one-spot driveway.
On the other side?
I was looking
We
on
should-
Google Earth
we
right
should-
now.
We should have a discussion with the neighbor though, because they will be impacted.
Because I think it is a two-family,
It is a two-family.
yeah.
So the design inspiration for the building was kind of pulled from the brick building on the corner of High and
Forester.
Forester.
Can everybody
Yeah.
see it
Yeah.
now? Can you, every,
No, can't, but that's okay.
So it's a similar mansard roof detail, commercial on the first floors.
You mean the Kennedy Building? 8
Yes,
Forester?
I didn't want to say Kennedy Building, but yes, yes.
8 Forester.
Thank you, 8 Forester. It's 8 Forester.
8 floors.
So, from High Street, you don't see.
It's from this is the top view there is from High Street, so
Right.
that's what you'll see. So you don't see the impact of the length of the building. You see something that's
The
much
side of the
more
building.
scaled to a residential building.
I'm just thinking of the businesses, because I guess you'd have signage or something if somebody.
Yeah, there will. Yes, yeah. The sign law allows for a street sign on the property, so it would be up there.
Yeah, there's something similar, I think, for this.
Yeah.
This building somewhere in this general area, or somewhere, I can't remember where it is, but.
So the third floor is like little dormer windows?
Yes, try to make it not look like a
Just
very
tell
tall
me if you
building.
want me to go back or forward or what you, because there's.
Just going from memory, the newest building in that narrow lot across the street is similar to that too.
It's 3 stories high, too.
Yeah.
Technically two, but they have a living space in the,
Looks like that, just
in the top.
narrow.
I've seen people do some interesting things with trusses.
Yeah,
I bet.
That's the kind, right,
yeah, it looks good.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you guys.
The last application for tonight's meeting is 24 Howe Street. Site plan application for a shed. Yeah.
How are you this evening?
So I think last time you were here, then you referred to the ZBA.
Right.
And then you've gone through that process, you got your variances.
Correct.
Okay, now you're just back for obviously site plan approval.
Right.
Alright. Start with Liz, you want to go through your comments?
Sure. So, the applicant did get their variances. My comment memo is largely cleanup, on the plan set, just labeling yards as well as the bulk table. I had a momentary freak out, but then I calmed down. Remember, we have a yard and a setback, and the yard is less restrictive than the setback. The variances are adequate, and so this does not require, so when I start talking about this, I just wanna be clear, they do not need to go back to the ZBA, it's purely updates to the final plan before it's printed. The yards fronting on both Factory Street and House Street are to be labeled as front yards and noted as such on the bulk table because it's a corner lot, so both Factory and House Street are front lawn, front yards. And again, it doesn't alter the variances because both front yards are pre-existing non-conforming conditions and we're not altering those conditions. Okay, the variance was granted, so that comment was addressed. Applicant, indicated previously that, the use of the shed was not intended to serve as a home occupation, it's purely storage, that's gonna be a condition of approval. So that comment is largely addressed. Bulk table to be corrected prior to site plan as follows. Again, identify front yard as Factory Street. And then I know when we throw around yards, it can be very confusing. So I added a little diagram. The snippet tool is my favorite friend. Labeling the front yard, rear yard, and side yard so we were clear.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused with this, if I may.
Sure.
Because when I was here in June, you told me to designate a front yard and a
Designate
side
a
yard.
rear yard and a side yard. So this could be your side yard, or this could be your side yard. One, because you've got, normally, if you were, this is your front yard, okay? And then these two would be your side yard if you had a house here, right? You get to pick when you have a corner lot, which one's the rear yard and which one's the side yard. This is still
Okay.
front, based on the dimensions, rear, side.
Okay. So,
And
no problem. I've got it here. I'd like to pencil on it
yep, go for it.
what you want me to put on here.
So, and that's why I did my little diagram. So what I would suggest is, and it's actually mostly in your bulk table, okay? So, in your bulk table,
Yep.
see how it says front setback, if you don't mind. Front
Nope.
setback, House Street, you're gonna do the same thing. Front setback. Factory. Okay, and you're gonna have a line there.
Oh, so in other words, this has to be front setback, not side setback.
Correct.
So this is correct.
That's correct.
This is wrong. This is from the previous thing.
That's actually, that doesn't matter, so, because it's still
Oh, I
14
mean,
feet.
the-
This is right, this line doesn't change at all.
Right,
You're gonna
sorry.
insert a new line, right? It's still 35 feet. It's gonna be 24.5. And if you look at my comment memo, later down, see, look, I gave it to you.
24 point, no, okay.
I gave it to you.
So actually, I can
I reprinted
I
it.
can just take this,
Correct.
roll it up, and do a paste on top of this.
Liz, you're saying insert, but isn't it this
Yeah.
next
You
line,
just
the factory street
Cross side
setback is-
setback out.
But that has to be 30, that has to be
Yeah, and
35.
then cross that off.
I had given him I had given the table that I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
recognized that in my last round of comments.
Right, so what I'm saying here is if I take this, so what's happening right now is Cecilia's really sick.
Okay.
And so she's not gonna be able to do anything. So I'm going to do it through, like this. My little-
Well,
And
my
this-
only- my
and then
only-
this gets copied at Warwick Printing and makes a final copy.
my only question is that in violation of education law? Can we accept that?
It's not, I mean,
Education.
Alex,
there's no requirements that these plans have to be provided by a licensed professional since it's no real design being performed.
okay.
It's detailing, it's kind of like, I wouldn't even say a survey because that's again another licensed professional, but it's essentially somebody drawing on a map and showing where the shed's going to be and how it's going to comply with setbacks, but not necessarily detailing any design information as to how it's going to be constructed, how it's going to comply with any other building code requirements other than just distances from a known, and we do have a copy of the known survey.
Okay, so long as we,
yes,
if
and
we
they
have a
do
cop-
reference it on the map.
okay.
The actual survey, when it was performed, it was certified to the current property owner. So I think knowing that it was taken from a legitimate survey, as long as the surveyor doesn't have any opposition to the applicant drafting on the survey, or essentially.
Well, it's not the survey because this
Right.
is a site
Yes,
plan.
and that's
Right,
so
that's
that
why I
would
don't
be-
want to touch anything over here.
And
I'm
that,
only gonna deal with that
that's
and that.
I think that's, let me just go through my comments, make sure I didn't have anything within the surveyed area. Normally, you can't alter, just the reason I bring it up is when we have a sealed document, you can't alter so for example, if there's a survey, you can't alter a survey, only the surveyor, and it has to be resealed. So, and that's an education law requirement, that's not even an us.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
I just,
I understand what you're saying now.
other than that, site plan cleanup, I really have no objection. From a procedural standpoint, this is one of those annoying applications where because it required a variance, it requires site plan, so it's now your planning board planning board site plan public hearing, so it would be appropriate to schedule the public hearing. Don't do anything to the plan until after the public hearing. Go through that, and then we'll be in good shape to finalize this at next month's meeting.
So the next step,
Next
just a
meeting
motion
is-
for a public hearing. is that
Next meeting is February 10th.
All right. So do I have a motion to schedule a public hearing for February 10th?
So moved.
Second.
it? I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
All right.
All right, so we'll have a public hearing next meeting. Keith, did you have any?
No, the plans I reviewed were subsequent to these plans, so they've pretty much addressed. I'll have some more comments because now that they've enlarged it, the scale will have to be taken off of this, and then just some additional notations on the second sheet because
Yeah,
right
so-
now it
so
doesn't
you-
have.
Yeah, you don't have that, right?
Yeah, so that doesn't have, that this is a complete sheet set, so this should be labeled sheet 1 of 2 and then that 2 of 2. So I'll formalize that, but that's all subject to these new set of plans.
Okay.
But nothing that's earth-shattering. I mean, that
Right,
could all
nothing
be
that-
conditioned on the.
And what I would suggest, I'm not gonna make you resubmit before the public hearing. I think the plans are adequate to give the public, all we're doing is giving the public a flavor, and the public's already seen this from the ZBA's perspective. So don't make any changes until after.
Okay, I'm gonna touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it,
Until after February.
because
No, that's fine.
the odds are assuming something that I'm not anticipating is that you'll be in position to get a conditional approval at the February meeting, and that conditional approval will outline your homework.
Exactly
And
what
then-
has to get done.
But then you have a stationary, that's your homework, that the list isn't gonna change on you.
Right,
If
gotcha.
you
Perfect.
go through the effort of resubmitting and the public raises something, you might be doing it twice.
Right, gotcha. Perfect.
So trying to be efficient.
I do have some questions.
Yeah.
So, let's see, we have the thing about the previous variance, which I brought to the June meeting, but I don't know what
I
we did
wasn't-
with it.
Was that, no, I wasn't here at the November meeting.
No, that was
June.
something I requested because I had it on the application that a previous variance was issued. So you can just leave that as a copy, but since you have a variance now for this property, then the previous variance doesn't really
Okay,
mean much.
so we don't need to worry about that. I mean, I can give you all copies if you want. I don't
No,
care.
here,
No.
let me just take a quick peek. I don't think it's relevant, but let me just double check.
What's the variance for?
That was the previous variance.
That was for a 12-foot
this-
by something foot two-story addition.
Right here. Yeah, this addition, this is, was an addition that we bought the house with. And that's the variance for,
To construct that.
for in 2011, I think it was.
For the for the purposes, the instant application,
But the second story.
it's related to the main house. There's
Right.
not
It's
another.
It's not for the shed.
And I'm
Right,
just-
that has nothing to do with the shed.
And there's
I know.
also,
Yeah,
I just look for other conditions, and I don't see anything. It's a very simplistic area variance, nominal. It went from, yeah, it's a nominal variance, and so I don't think it's a big deal. I was just, anytime I see variance, did they put a condition on their variance that we need to carry
Right.
through? So,
Again, like I say, I can give you all copies of this if you want. What is this yellow line building coverage?
that was just on, so that was a requirement of the bulk code, and I will give you the definition of building coverage. That was what was not on your table, but I don't think it's an issue.
So you have yellow for thinking about it?
Yellow for I don't have that piece of it. Yellow for I don't have that piece of information.
Well, while she's looking that up, the only other comment I had was regards to the fencing. I know
I was
there's-
gonna talk to you
yeah.
about that.
So it does, the survey does show that there's existing fencing. I would recommend bringing pictures of the fencing so that the board can see that there will be, or there's existing screening on both adjoining properties so that the board has that.
Okay, so in
Is
the.
a chain link,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
A chain link fence is sufficient for screening?
It depends. So you can have privacy slats installed within chain link fencing.
Doesn't happen.
But that's something that the board can take into account. It's not that there's a requirement to provide screening. It's something the board can take into consideration due to the setbacks or the close proximity to the adjoining property. So that could be a condition that the board can put forth on the application to say we would prefer to have, and that could be something that the neighbors come up and voice concerns at a public hearing. So again, it's just more of having that information on hand so that the board can make a decision.
The fencing is actually the neighbor's fence or your fence?
Okay, so I'll explain the fencing. So there is a chain link fence that Bob has running down his property over here. And it runs like right down my property line. I have a wooden fence which is set back from it. See, it sits over here and comes up to there. So I'm going to have to remove this whole, well, I'm going to have to remove all of this because I'm going to bring this in as pre-made. And it'll come in this way into the lot. And when I was at the ZBA, they also asked me what I was going to do with that fence. And my answer was, I was going to talk to Bob, who's my neighbor, and see if he wants me to move it over or take it away or whatever he wants, which I did, and he says he don't care what I do. So Bob's opinion is that he doesn't care what I do. So the question is, what do you guys want me to do? Because I'll do whatever you want me to do. If I just move the fence over to the property line and run it right next to his chain link, I'm perfectly fine with that. If you don't want me to, I won't. I don't care.
And then there's fencing existing
Oh, yes,
on the other side as well.
So the fencing goes here, which then shields the whole backyard, runs all the way down here, all the way here, all the way along this driveway, all the way here, all the way along this, and all the way through here. So this entire region is behind one of those real cheap wooden, but they're opaque, you know, you can't see through. It's a privacy fence.
A
It's-
board on board.
Yeah, 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And
then
his
this-
chain link is 3 feet 8 inches.
This portion would remain. or just
I'm not
leave
gonna touch this
piece
portion.
there?
That Diane actually has some stuff that she does over there, so I'm like, no, no.
So we'd only be really concerned with this side anyway from this adjacent to
And it would only be an issue if that neighbor had
Moist.
voiced concern. And if he doesn't, I would recommend him putting it in a letter, even if it's in support of your application, just so that the board has that on record to know.
Okay.
So that he doesn't come out a year, 2 years, 5 years from now saying, I never said that, or
Or
I
new
never,
owner.
right, or I never agreed to this.
Yeah.
So I mean, and again, it's
I agree with that position. I know Bob, he's never gonna do that, but I agree with your position.
But
okay?
he may sell to somebody else, and the next person owns it.
Well, you know,
Well,
then,
it's pre-existing.
then,
Yeah.
then I don't know.
Not
What
much they can do with that.
Yeah,
I mean, the way I look at it is you have a solid structure here. That's going to be the shed, right?
right.
And it's going to be how tall?
Well, it's gonna
feet
have
probably?
about whatever like what how tall is this in here?
A little over 8, probably.
Yeah, so it's probably about that, but then of course it has the peaked roof on it, so.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
10
peak
feet,
roof.
somewhere along those lines. So you're going to have a solid structure. That's-
Yeah, it's a pretty, it's not an insignificant structure right there.
Right. To me, that's a fence. It serves as a fence. It's,
Well, the only problem is I wanna be able to get in here and do maintenance, so.
right, so the more you put in between the shed and this fence, it precludes
Yeah.
you from having access
Right.
to the side of that fence. Or to the side of the shed.
Hence, in my original thought is I wouldn't do anything with that fence at all. I would just keep this fence. I might actually extend it over to his.
Right, tie it in. And
Tie it
then
into his chain link right there, and take that whole side out, and then just leave this in.
Mhm.
But you know, I don't know. I also don't actually want to mess with this tree. So even if I were to bring it down here, I'm probably going to stop it in here somewhere because I'm not going to mess with the roots.
Right.
That's a gorgeous oak tree with
Mhm.
a big root system. That thing is like huge.
Oak or maple? Says maple.
Maple, I'm sorry.
Just let the record reflect that I made a mistake. That you don't have to worry about building coverage. I was in the wrong district.
Say that again.
I forgot my tape recorder.
She ended the recording early tonight, so it's okay.
So you don't have to worry about that one.
Right, okay.
I'm
no
sorry
problem.
about that.
No, no,
This is
no
why we
problem.
check, hey, the other guys got their setbacks, you know.
Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to make sure? Yes, so we have the screening that we just talked about. This update will be done after February.
Yep.
With bulk. I do have a question, and you've probably already covered it in here. I don't understand the 14.7, is that a bulk requirement?
You got a variance from it, so it doesn't matter. You have, between here and here has to be at least 15 feet.
Right, that's why that's on there, because I have a variance for that.
You have a but you're fine. So
Yes.
that's okay. You don't need to do anything for that.
No, my question is, does it go into the bulk somehow?
No, it is a bulk regulation. You do not have to put it in the bulk table.
Yeah, okay, that's my question on that.
You're good.
Okey doke. Any other questions for me?
No.
Looks good.
Good, okay.
See you next.
So
February.
what's gonna happen is I'm gonna prepare, actually, I think Alexia prepared it today. I'll send Kristen the public notice. Kristen will coordinate with you for, the mailing. Let's do that again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, lucky you.
You mean these guys? Those have come back now since.
Oh,
our
okay,
those are-
from the ZBA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
you have to
Okay,
do it
thank
again,
you.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Same
And then-
list?
Yes.
I think
I
so.
will give you everything in one email. Once Liz provides me with the public hearing notice, I'll provide you with the addresses and the public hearing notice within the same email, and you'll supply the receipts again.
Gotcha.
Like you did, just,
Right.
and
It's
the
a
ones
duplicate
that you
of
get
that.
back. Yes.
Yeah, got it. Perfect.
Just a different public hearing notice.
Okay,
So we get to set it for a public hearing?
you already
We did.
voted.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
You voted for it.
I don't think this is mine.
Oh, that's the pen I was looking for. It kind of shimmied down. I was like, where did my pen go?
Look at that, I'm not even gonna steal your pen.
Thank you. Don't forget that, that's yours. I was like, I knew I had a pen, I would have thrown it in my briefcase.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you all in February, and so by February, should I get the letter from Bob?
Yes.
Okay, I'll see if I can do that.
Yeah.
Can we formally recognize Carrie's service before we
Yeah,
adjourn?
I think we should.
And I have one other, do you wanna do the happy stuff or the bittersweet stuff first, or do you wanna do the serious stuff first? I have one more thing I need to talk to you, and it does not attorney-client.
Might as well do serious first.
Okay, and then we'll do the bittersweet.
Oh, is this one's pen? Is this your pen?
Nope, nope.
I just, and this is not attorney-client, I'm saying this in public because, it's generally a public PSA, so that the board is aware, and then that this becomes part of the official minutes, and anybody in YouTube or listening can hear it. We've had a fraud attempt committed against, the planning board's, emails. This is a second attempt that we are aware of. And essentially what it does is it pulls, applicants' information, and they get an email asking for a wire for escrow and consultant fees that and they look pretty official, and if you're not in the know, I can see why it's tempting to say, oh shoot, I missed my fees, I gotta go send a wire. One, I want to make clear to this board and to the public that the Village of Warwick, nor any, you're my fourth board, I represent 4 planning boards. No planning board in Orange County or any is gonna demand a wire. Ever. We might coordinate a wire, but we're never gonna demand a wire. That's never gonna be our, the first shot. So just be aware of that. The public is entitled to audit any request for, so when Keith and I submit our bills, when we submit letters for requests to replenish escrow, the applicant is entitled to see our bills, the applicant is entitled to audit our bills for that purpose. So, in coordination with the village officials, the decision has been made that Kristen will be, lucky Kristen, she has more work to do, we will be modifying our application. All contact information is coming off the application, so that the site, the information, because that's where they're getting it. They're in an effort to be transparent, which is on one hand very cool. We try to provide as much public information, and you're probably one of the most transparent villages I represent, where someone can go on and see plan sets and the whole file is there and it's lovely. The problem is people's emails and phone numbers are there, so that's going to come off. There will be a separate piece of paper that will not be public that has that general information. So I just want everybody to be aware. And the village quite simply does not ask for wires. When in doubt, if you get a request from, they've used Jesse's email handle, they've used Kristen's email handle at this point. If you get a request for funds from us, give us a call. We'll be happy to verify what funds are owed, if any. And in this particular case, I didn't see the email directly, but as Kristen describes it, it sounds like if you don't pay, you're not on the agenda. Well, they were already on the agenda. If you don't pay, we're not putting you on the agenda in the first place. So there were just little misses, but again, a layperson who's not familiar with the process may not see that. So I just want everybody to be aware, and we will continue to be diligent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay, fraud.
All right,
We-
on to
On to the fun.
happier, or not happier, I guess, but not as
How happy are you?
less sullen news. It's been over 5 years, I think. I try to look back.
I tried to too, but I think I was the alternate for a few years too.
Yeah, because I have at least 2020, if not prior to that. so-
Definitely. I did COVID planning board.
Yes, fun COVID planning board. It's been great. It's been an asset to our board, and obviously tonight did the same. You push, I think, applicants, demand answers, which was, I think, the purpose of this board. Not always easy, but definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see. What was it that you were saying?
I'm going to become a building inspector. Education.
Well, a lot of people need that
We
education.
need building inspectors too, so if you wanted to do that as well.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank
It's
you,
been
Jason.
terrific to have a different perspective. I think you brought something to our questions and our observations that has been different than any of the rest of us have brought. I think
Good.
so. That's a really valuable asset to have a difference of opinions and difference of perspective on the board.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
I know that the village thanks you for your service to all of our residents. So, thank you.
I am so
Very
grateful
much.
that the village
Yeah.
gave me this opportunity, because it's one thing to just be a resident and complain and not quite know what's going on and be, but to have this knowledge and be able to share it with my neighbors, and I think, and I absolutely love how the transparency that you referred to, like that you can now click on the agenda and see what's happening. I think it's a fabulous addition. Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah. Thank you too. Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for being here.
Great,
I appreciate it all the time.
We're so
Thank you,
excited
Gail.
for your new adventure.
I am too. I'm so nervous, but I'm really happy.
Good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed working with you. I think while you're saying 2020, I think the first project I remember was Yesterday's. When I came on was in the middle of Yesterday's. Was 2020, 2019, I think.
Might have been, really, yeah.
That's what I'm
It
trying
was
to
a long
remember as
time
far
ago.
as, that's why I'm saying it's been 5 years, because I took your alternate spot, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
So, you've been here the entire time I've been here, so I've enjoyed working with you and hearing your perspective, and, you're gonna be missed.
Thank you.
So.
That's so nice.
But you can always join the audience.
I
Somebody tuning in through YouTube.
When you see one viewer, it's me. Thank you, everyone. It's really been such an honor and a gift to be able to work with you and get to know everybody on this side. Thank you.
So the process is the village board appoints the next,
I think Vanessa was already.
the next member, and they.
The board is, I anticipate, the board is likely to designate Vanessa
I
as
think it
Vanessa.
already
permanent-
happened.
a permanent
I know
member.
she submitted a
And
letter.
then they will appoint an alternate.
An alternate.
Right.
I am thrilled you guys have the alternate structure, because a couple of my boards that don't have alternates sit for a while with vacancies, and then you have quorum issues and all sorts of other things, so you'll be a full board immediately.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Carrie will be missed,
At the
but you'll
end.
be a full board.
It was helpful being an alternate for as long as I was, because it was a time to catch up and do a lot of homework and learn stuff. So I think it's a great position.
Good.
Residents, please apply and be involved and watch the videos and apply. If I can be on this board, anyone in this village can. Okay.
That's a good plug. It is so true.
Yeah.
Residents come out,
Yeah,
come to our
absolutely.
planning board
Could-
meetings and
be
get
just
involved.
And you don't need to be an
Audience.
engineer, you just need to care about the village.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Here, here.
All right.
Move to
Do you
adjourn.
get any idea how many
Scott
people
Brown.
watch the
Bill,
video?
are you seconding to adjourn?
I've got a question. Do you have any idea how
After?
many people watch these videos? Any way to know that?
Do we need this on YouTube?
No.
Okay, so do you want to move to adjourn? And
I'll
then
still
I'll
move.
tell you.
Well,
I
Scott
move to
moved.
adjourn.
You did
seconds?
first
Bill
and
did
Bill
second.
was second.
all right. All in
And-
favor?
and then hold on.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll oppose, because I don't want to see your.
Doesn't have to be unanimous. Every vote doesn't have to be
Exactly.
unanimous.